Hi there, I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Welcome. Happy to have you here. This video is about working in the middle, being in the middle of making a junk journal. So being in the middle of a junk journal project is where uncertainty, it stops eventually. It stops being a problem and starts becoming just part of the process. Yep, I'm in the middle of making a bunch of journals. They're all going to be double accordion book journals. Right now, that's my signature style. That's 2 accordions in a book cover. One main part of being in the middle of crafting a journal, regardless of the style, is that the answer to many of the questions is, I don't know. Ideas abound. They're overflowing, but a clear direction only shows up when you take the next step. And this video is meant as an encouragement to all of us, because we will all find ourselves in the middle at some point. Now, being in the middle isn't a comfortable space to be. It's unlike the excitement of the start or the feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment at the end. You often can't even imagine the payoff at the end result because you don't know how it will end. Maybe it's going to be a mess. Maybe it's going to be a meh ending. Maybe you'll feel good. You don't know. I experienced that. Being in the middle of a junk journal project is like so many areas of life, whether it's marriage or raising children, building a house, moving, going to school, finishing an education, even simple stuff like cleaning or decluttering. In the middle, you have 3 choices. The first one is just quit. Quit now. The second is keep going, even if you don't know anything. And the third, to my mind anyhow, is stop, drop, and roll. I know, that's a technique if there's a fire. But it's basically a phrase, a pause to reorient and save yourself. But this is junk journaling. What does it mean to be in the middle of a junk journal project or projects? Being in the middle of a junk journal project means you are no longer working from fantasy, imagination, but you are not yet working from proof, the end. At the beginning, everything still feels possible. At the end, everything, you get it, you understand, you've been through it. But in the middle, you're making decisions without full evidence. Maybe you have experience, but you have no evidence for that project. And you are responding instead of just imagining. That's why it feels a little wobbly sometimes, the middle. It feels tender. Sometimes being in the middle feels oddly lonely. There's nobody there to give you affirmation. I'd like to give you affirmation today, now, in the middle. You can do this. For a junk journaler, especially with something like a double accordion book journal, the middle is the part where, the structure exists, but the meaning, the story hasn't arrived yet, or at least not fully. The supplies are out. Oh gosh, are they out? All over the place, sometimes at your feet. Yeah, but the story of each piece is still hidden. You have no idea where the stuff is going to go. Sometimes being in the middle, the parts have this feeling of promise, while others, you're questioning your sanity. It's like, really? Is this going to go? And you have too much invested already to feel casual. Yeah, but not enough invested to feel certain. Like these digitals. I have no idea which ones I'm going to use. I like them. Yeah. That middle space is where the journal stops being an idea and, though uncomfortable, it starts becoming a relationship. Oh, relationships, yes. They're not easy, are they? And you're no longer asking, what could this be? You're asking, what does this piece need next? And those are different questions. And sometimes the answer is, I don't know. What it means to be in the middle of a junk journal, or for that matter, if you're writing a book. A junk journal project, the middle, or a book, the middle, is that you're inside the conversational stage. Some authors talk about how the characters, as they're writing, talk back to them. Sometimes our journals, they begin talking back. Not there. Don't do that. One pocket maybe changes the balance of how things will go. One fabric choice makes the cover or the inside or whatever feel too heavy, or maybe not heavy enough. And one page suddenly reveals what the color story is going to be. And you didn't know that till now, in the middle. You thought you knew. But it's not the solution that you originally planned. The middle is where the journey and the journal develops its own opinion. That's also why the answer, I don't know, becomes such an honest answer. Not because you're lost, because you're not, but because you're listening, you're emotionally open, your imagination is there. Yeah, you're ready to go forward, and sometimes the way forward is just one more step. The middle of a project is often the place where the maker has to trade control for paying attention. That's like in any relationship, right? Yeah, letting go, giving control over, sometimes is the answer. You can't finish well by forcing the ending too early. You finish well by noticing what the work is becoming. Again, that's like everything else in our life. In that sense, being in the middle of a junk journal project means first you're gathering evidence. What's going to be next? And what looked good in your head may not work in your hands. You know what I mean, right? You pick something up and you think, ooh, this will be perfect. And then you go to cut it out or you go to place it and it just isn't working the way you hoped it would. I have that experience. And that's being in the middle. Yeah. Now you get to see the truth of scale, of texture, of weight, of repetition, of movement, all the ideas. You're living with unfinished beauty. Some spreads, they'll look awkward before you layer extra things on top. Some covers will look too plain or too full before they become just right. And that same way, in the middle, crafting in the middle, some journals need time before what they're going to be, in effect, their identity, shows up. You are choosing trust over certainty. You can do this. Yes, you can. You're just in the middle. You keep making the next hinge, the next tuck, the next collage cluster, even when the whole journal hasn't revealed itself yet. You know what? In the middle, we're all practicing discernment. Not every idea belongs in this journal. And that's hard sometimes. Yeah, especially if you really like the idea. The middle is where you begin editing, because it's not just about adding. Sure, we add things, but sometimes it's about editing. You are becoming the kind of junk journaler, might I say, artist. I know that's a little bold, isn't it? You're becoming that kind of person that can stay with it. A lot of people enjoy beginnings. Personally, I do. I love beginning. I enjoy beginnings. And fewer people learn how to remain present in that middle that feels murky. It feels unclear. It feels discouraging sometimes. But hang in there. That's where the signature style, maybe your style, is actually formed. Yep, for sure. I've been doing junk journaling for more than 6 years. I started making videos 6 years ago, but I was doing this paper crafting much sooner than that. And I've learned a few things. Still learning. I love learning. I love gathering ideas. My work in the 100 Days of Ways to Use Your Scraps, that's led by Kathy at Raven Vintage. I'm learning a lot, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. You're growing, and your growth and your style, you're finding it. Keep going. So, a signature style isn't born at a starting line. In anything. I mean, when you first got married, you weren't perfect at it, were you? Or became a mother or father. It's the starting line. But the middle is hard. How about being a good friend? Did you just wake up one day and become a good friend? No, we all learn. And we learn with each friend that we try to add positive things to, because each person is different. Each journal is different. Even if you use the same paper, even if you use the same, style or digitals or you name it, the tools, each journal will be different, because that's what makes it artistic. That's what makes it handmade. Hang in there in the middle. Your signature style, it's formed in the middle. When you make choices, maybe they're repeated or maybe they're just totally uncertain. When you build journal after journal and you keep on asking, what makes this feel like mine? What kind of movement do I want these? For me, anyhow, I'm saying making accordion journals. How do I want the accordion journal to move? You see how I'm unfolding it? How do I want it to move? Where do I want it to start? Where will the surprise belong? I don't know. And what needs to be repeated across all of the pages? What needs to stay flexible? That's where, for me, a double accordion book journal stops being just a format and starts becoming recognizable language. A language of creating. So, what does it really mean to be in the middle? It means that you're standing in the workshop of meaning. It's not a showroom. You're in the workshop. Yeah. It means you're surrounded by parts and possibilities and doubts. Ugh. You're surrounded by partial wins and unanswered questions. Too many to list. It means you're close enough to the work for it to bother you, but not far enough along for it to reassure you. It means that you're being asked to continue without applause or feedback or encouragement. But I want to encourage you. I do. And maybe, most beautifully, it means that the project is still alive. A dead project is obvious. It's abandoned. Nothing's happening. But a living project has tension. It resists easy answers. It asks for patience. Ugh, patience. It changes as you handle each point. It withholds clarity until you participate. So in junk journaling terms, the middle may be the awkward bulk before everything balances. It may be the undecided cover before it all works out. It could be scattered ephemera everywhere, like everywhere, before you curate. And it could be repeated folds before a rhythm shows up. It's the unsure pages before the story unfolds. The middle is not failure. The middle is formation. Can I repeat that again for you? It's not failure. You're just in the middle. Everything is forming. Everything is coming together. Whether you fold it wrong or you glue it wrong, you're just in the middle. Keep going. Keep fixing. Keep making things work. That's the beauty of junk journaling. Things work if you keep going. So the middle is not failure. Nope. Even if you feel like it at this moment in time. The middle is forming. It's happening. It's coming together. It really is, truly. Again, a dead project is obvious. It's abandoned. You quit. But a living project has tension. We don't like tension as human beings. At least we don't like it that much. I think. I don't know. But more is coming. The middle isn't failure. It's formation. It may help to name the 3 choices in junk journaling language in this way. First, quit now. Abandon the conversation before the journal tells you what it wants to be. Well, we don't want to do that. Nope. Or keep going. Trust that clarity often comes from motion, not from certainty. And 3, stop, drop, and roll. Pause on purpose. Step back. Rotate the book, maybe physically, maybe literally, or maybe it's just your brain a little bit. Remove the pressure and re-enter. Oh, re-enter the whole thing, because you're in the middle. Re-enter with a gentle heart and eyes. Be kind to yourself. You're creating something. So that third one, the stop, drop, and roll in junk journaling terms, is, I think, possibly wise. In junk journaling, stop, drop, and roll might mean stop adding. It might mean drop the need to solve the whole journal at once. You know how it can become just almost unwieldy if you think about the entire 10 signatures or 2 signatures. Yeah, or 2 accordions for me, and as I make these style. Sometimes that can just feel too much. And then you can just roll into one small next step. In the middle, I think we do that often. Roll into one small next step. You can attach one tip out. You can choose one repeating fabric, maybe. You can finish one section. You make one decision that reduces that uncomfortable noise in your head. Sometimes just one small roll into the next step is enough to quiet your mind. It's often enough to let the middle, the feeling of being in the middle, breathe. Just, it'll work out. Fold it, flip it, move it, add it, remove it. One small step in the middle helps you carry on. You're not abandoning it. You're only going from one step to the next step to the next step. And sometimes the next step is the only light that you're given, like the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. It's okay. It's okay. To be in the middle of a junk journal project means you're building meaning before you can fully see it. What do I see now as I'm folding these pages? I mean, I'm only doing the first accordion signature. I have a sense of where it's going. I'm making decisions truly on the fly, not sure what's going to happen next. But it's happening. I pick up the paper, I pick up the glue, I tear with the ruler, and there it is. There's the next step. Sometimes the next step is the only light at the end of the tunnel that you're given. What about adding something unexpected? A surprise. How's that going to work out? All right, let's try it. Let's add something unexpected that you don't plan. But that's a part of the process. It's a part of being in the middle. Give yourself the latitude to try that. The middle of a junk journal project is where uncertainty stops being a problem and it starts becoming part of the process. Maybe there's a more simple way to say this. The middle is where the journal teaches you how to finish it. Am I at that point now in what I'm doing? No, I'm very much in the middle. I'm going to make the other accordion part. So it's a signature in a sense because it's a grouping of pages. And I need 2 of them to make a double accordion book journal. But I'm there. I'm working. I'm reaching for the glue. I'm reaching for that scrap that I tore off earlier. It's going to help me. I'm trying really hard not to overthink as I work on this. It's a process. Absolutely. Being in the middle is often enough. When you're in the middle, you can let the journal breathe. You can breathe. Take a breath. It's okay. All right, so if you're going to stop, drop, and roll, yeah, what does that look like? You're going to pause on purpose. So that's an action. Pausing is an action. You're pausing to take a step back. You're pausing to reaffix things or remove things. You're pausing to repair. I'm repairing this envelope. It was in the red cabbage dye for a long time, and the glue on the actual envelope came undone. And when I went to pick it up, the envelope tore. Now I'm stuck with an envelope that I like. I like the color, but I need to repair it. And it's not going to be repaired so it looks new. Rather, as a junk journal aspect, right here, right now, in the middle, I'm making it work. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's a part of stop, drop, and roll in a junk journal term. Anyhow, I want to encourage you that you will find a solution to repair something that anyone else would call a mistake. There are no mistakes in junk journaling. There's just the opportunity to repair, to remove, or to add. And that's where it happens, here in the middle of preparation. I have to say I'm not as excited as I was when I first began this, because I'm facing the decisions that have to be made. I'm dealing with the stuff that isn't perfect. And again, I'm going to refer us back to the rest of our life. That's the way it is in parenting sometimes, right? Yeah. Parenting. Are you ever done? I think so, but it's not going to be the way you imagined it at the beginning, when they placed that newborn in your arms, when your now grown child flies out of the nest. Yeah, you won't have done everything perfectly. There were things that you would choose to change, sure. Just like a journal. I think in some ways, making a journal is like a bigger part of the experience of life. Bigger part? No. It's just a exploration of other things in our life, whether it's building a house or it's making a move from one part of the country to another. Would you do everything the same again? Probably not. And moving, wow, decisions that have to be made in the moment. They're huge. It's going to impact your life. The decisions we make in the middle of making a journal. We can say, I don't know. I don't know. And that's okay, because it's just the middle. We're only in the middle. We don't know how to have to do it all. We just can't abandon things. Okay, nobody's going to care if we abandon our journal. In fact, there's a good chance nobody will know. But a good habit to get into is finishing to the best of our ability. And sometimes it requires a pause. A pause to learn more, a pause to grow more, a pause to gather more ideas. Oh, you fit in leave a comment below and let me know, when you take a pause on a journal, what is it that you're waiting for? I'd love to know. When something isn't working in the middle, what question are you asking? Do you feel a little bereft, a little alone, a little curious, or a little questioning? I do sometimes. Right here, I don't know whether that envelope should stick out one side or the other side, because I've not done this before. I've made 2 other double accordion book journals. I've made multiple accordion, like single ones. but I've never put a envelope with a window on the front of one. That's not exactly the measurement that I chose. I know it's going to look nice, especially with a digital inside. Whether it's that digital, I have no idea. It might be. It could be. Yes. Yes. The middle of a junk journal project is where uncertainty, it stops becoming a problem and it starts being part of the story or the solution. Uncertainty is no longer something to avoid. It's something to embrace because you know it's going to get solved. Because you're going to keep working at it. You're going to keep trying. You're going to keep gathering information. We all reach this point of the middle where we're questioning ourselves, where we say, how is this going to work? I don't know. Except that I'm going to make it work. I'm going to keep trying things until it does work. For example, I want to be able to put something in that pocket, so I can't close it completely. I have to leave it available to tuck something in. So let's bend the page, because who says we can't? Who says we can't? It's going to be fine. And if later on it causes a problem, well, we'll find another solution. In the middle, we find solutions eventually. I don't know how this is going to turn out. You probably don't know how it's going to turn out either. But if you join me on Friday, we will both see how it turns out. That's my goal, to finish this double accordion book journal in the cover, and I'll have 2 signatures of accordions, so 2 accordions, one on each side of the cover. They're going to be securely attached with a little tie, because you have to put the tie in before you glue down the accordion signature. We'll all find out. Right now, my answer to you is, I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah. I make videos twice a week, once for Tuesday, once for Friday. And I often go deep diving into topics that make me curious. Last year, for example, I went into a really deep dive on how to layer, because I didn't feel I knew enough about that. This time, I'm going into the style of junk journaling with accordions. And I think it's possible. I made up this style in a book cover. Maybe not, but it seems as though I've not seen it before. And an accordion just unfolds. You can flip it like a book page, or you can pull it out so it's right across your desk, completely open. It's an interesting thing to dive into. I invite you to try it with me. Over the next few videos, I'll be showing slowly how you put one together. Today we looked at getting a cover. We looked at putting together the papers in an accordion format. And now we're exploring the concept of putting 2 of them in, leaving enough space so that they can open properly and close properly. So I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living, and the name of my channel is that because I want to live with optimism and gratitude, and I want to be able to, encourage in every aspect, big stuff, little stuff. I don't know what's going to happen here. whether I'll use these digitals to cover the cover inside. I need to decorate the inside covers, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. Not yet. I will. I'll learn. I'll figure it out. Do you have a book cover that's hanging around in your craft room that you could try something like this? You can do it. You can. Find some papers. Use digitals. Use the brown paper packaging from that you get stuff in the mail. The paper doesn't matter. It's the action of working with it that matters. And you're going to doubt yourself when you're in the middle. Just keep going. I didn't plan already what to do here. I'm making it up as I go. We'll find out on Friday whether, whether it was a good idea, whether cutting down these pages, which pages that am I going to choose, or should I just use one of the dyed papers? So I have dyed papers with tea and Easter egg dye. I've dyed papers with red cabbage that I boiled, and I used the water to soak the paper in, and that's the blue, purple hues you see. And right now I've been dyeing paper with avocado, the skins and the pits. I boiled them for a while, then I strained the water, and I'm dunking the papers into the water solution. And the water solution looks brown. It really does, but it's not. Once you take the papers out of the avocado dye, they start turning pink. Really lovely pink. So maybe instead of digitals here, I'll just use the dyed papers. I don't know. Do you ever find yourself like that? Yeah, crafting in the middle means that you have ideas, but sometimes no clue. I feel like that often. Do you? And how will it end? We'll find out on Friday. Join me on Friday. Take care. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Happy crafting.